So I'm glad that my last video got so much attention and so many people found it useful. That was a video on how to take Aegisub and time subtitles to a video that you already had, make a new subtitle file for it. The most commonly asked question for that video was, so what do I do with the file that I get from Aegisub? So you have this subtitle file and a video file separately, and you want to put them together to make something that you can play on your computer or on another device. So that was the most commonly asked question, so I figured I'd make a video about it. So here it is. Now, there are two different ways to make a video file with subtitles, and I'm going to go into them and sort of explain what they are. You have hard subbing, or hard encoding, and soft subbing, or soft encoding. If you know what those are, go ahead and click the one on the screen that you are interested in learning how to do. I'm going to include both of them in this video. But for those of you that don't know what these are, I'm going to sort of quickly explain about each one and the pros and cons. So first off is hard subbing, or hard encoding. And you can imagine hard subbing like burning the subtitles into your video. So you are going to, it's like basically your computer takes a pen and draws in the subtitles in every frame of the video. It won't touch the source video, and you won't touch your subtitle video, but the video that you create with hard subbing, the pros of it is that it can play on pretty much anything. If your device can play the video, you'll be able to see the subtitles, because the subtitles are just a part of the video now. They're just part of the pixels in the video. Also, all the styles that you've added in Aegisub are preserved. Any like fancy fonts or effects are going to be pretty much preserved, especially if you've exported as a .ass file. The cons of hard subbing are that you cannot turn subs off. There's no, you can't disable them when you play back the video because they're going to be burned in. Also, because you're going to be re-encoding your video and drawing it into every frame, there's a chance, and a good chance, that it will slightly reduce video quality. If you're not careful. It won't be very drastic unless you really mess with some settings, but it can also increase the file size because of the re-encoding. And also, if you find that you make a mistake with the subtitles, you're gonna have to re-encode the whole video. You can't just nip in and quickly change a lowercase c to an uppercase c, something like that. Just a quick little text change. You have to just re-encode the whole thing. Not a huge problem. But if you're doing a lot of changes, basically it's burned in, so you can't change it. Soft subbing, on the other hand, is it's like sticking all your different files into an envelope, because that's literally what you're doing. Is you're going to stick your video file and your subtitle file, all the raw video, raw audio, and subtitle files into a container. It's called an audio-video container. And you can imagine it like sticking it into an envelope, just sticking each individual piece into an envelope, and you have an envelope that has your subtitles. But the pros to that is that you can turn the subs off, because it's not actually burned into the file of the video. Also, the pros of that are sometimes the subs are clearer because they're not burned in, and they're not limited by the video quality that you've used. Also, multiple subtitle files can be supported. So if you have multiple languages, you can just stick them all in that envelope, and you can swap between them. And so likewise, another pro is that you can change subtitles. And also, you can change them in the sense that it's pretty easy to open the envelope up and go in and choose one of the subtitles and say, hey, I want to change some of this text around. Soft subbing is good for that. The cons of soft subbing are that it won't work with some players and formats. Players meaning some video playback. If you're playing on your computer, soft subbing is probably the most recommended. But you need to make sure that you have a video player that can play soft subbing, and so it's when you get into soft subbing, you start to run into a little bit of uncertainty as to whether or not it's going to work. If you are doing a project for class, you might want to stick to hard subbing, because hard subbing, once you have it in the video file, you can pretty much be sure that if you're going to play the video file, you're going to see the subtitles. soft subbing, you might run into some problems where the video player that you're using may not be able to read the soft subbing. And also the formats. With soft subbing, you're limited to some very specific formats, like AVI, which is a pretty common format for on Windows, is not going to be supported. Also, by the way, this whole video is going to be Windows based. I'm going to make another video about Mac after, but I'm just mostly familiar with Windows, so I'm going to start with that. Hopefully now you have an idea of what hard subbing and soft subbing are. And so now I'm going to start with hard subbing, and we're going to go into, I'm going to go, show you on each of the processes how to do it. Alright, so starting with hard subbing. Now there's a bunch of different ways to do hard subbing, lots of different programs to use. I can think of at least 4 or 5 off the top of my head. But in doing research for this video, I've come across one that worked for me with not much hassle. And hassle is something you don't want when you're working with videos, because there's a ton of different video formats, tons of different kinds of video, so the amount of things that can go wrong are pretty high. And I've tried using a bunch of different programs. Anyway, this is the one I found that works the best, so I'd like you guys to try it if you're having problems. It's called Xvid for PSP. And gosh, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that name it sounds scammy. It sounds like some sort of mid-90s, I don't know. And also the UI is not great, but it works, and that's what's important. So I'm going to include a link to this and all the programs that I recommend to use, or that I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to add a link to places where you can download them in the description of this video. So here is a page that I'm going to send you. We're going to use Xvid for PSP, and we're going to download the latest version that it's listed on here is version 5. Apparently the developer is up to version 7, and I've tried downloading version 7, but he hasn't quite added all the features back that earlier versions had. So 5 is pretty stable, and it's not pretty, but it works, and that's, as I said, what's important. So we're going to click on download, go ahead and download this installation file, and I'll fast forward this, but yeah, it's going to go ahead and download. Great. Okay, so now that we have it downloaded, let's go ahead and open it on up. English. Yep, I speak English. Accept the agreement. Should probably read that, but who does? Alright, so go ahead and choose full installation. This is to avoid running into problems where the video file that you have that you're going to work with won't be supported. It's better to just, nip all the problems in the bud. Full installation. Go ahead. I can guarantee that this is, if you download it from the site that I'm going to send you, this is not going to be anything that's going to hurt your computer, and it's really easy to uninstall. I've done it a couple times while just figuring out, how to make this video for you guys. So it's not something to worry about. It's not but you feel free to scan it with whatever virus scan software you have, but it's, it's fine. So nothing to worry about there. It takes a little while to install, but that is a-okay. Alright, great. Now we are finishing setting that up. Go ahead and launch the program. You will see how beautiful this program is. Maximum free space drive detected. Do you want to use this drive for temporary files? Yes, I do. Alright, so I already have a ctemp file, and it's just, I'm going to cancel because you probably won't run into that unless you have a temporary file or folder already created on your computer. So, now that we're here, this is what we have to work with. Let me make this a little bigger. Alright. So, Xvid for PSP. Pretty simple, actually. Go ahead to open new files, and find the video that you have, the raw, the video without any subtitles. and open that up. Wait for it to process it, figure out what kind of a file it is, what kind of codec it needs to read the file. There's a lot. The thing I like about this software is that there's a lot going on behind the scenes to make sure that it just works. So, subtitles. The next step is to add the subtitles, of course. Go to Subtitles at the top, go to Add, and go search for the subtitle file that you created with Aegisub. Take a look here. It supports a lot of different kinds that Aegisub can export, including .srt and .ssa and .ass. Those are pretty much the most common, and I have made a .ass file. Go ahead and open that up. Now, I'm going to lower this in case it's too loud. And we can go ahead and hit play. And just, make sure that it pops up. And it does. So that's what we want. That's what we want it to look like in the end. So the first step is to go to Format. Now this is where your mileage may vary, because I don't know what kind of file you're going to need. Well, if you're going to mostly just watch the video that you're making on mobile, that has a ton of different options for different devices that you can just output directly to. So if you run into any problems with this, you're going to want to try changing the format here. AVI is great for Windows machines. The problem with AVI is sometimes it can get the file size can get a little big. So basically, you want to stick with probably MP4 or AVI. Because MP4 is generally, it's sort of become the standard for mobile videos. So we're going to stick with the MP4. .mov would work too. That's QuickTime. It's better on Macs. You can basically leave all this stuff the same though. It automatically tells you how to encode the video, audio. It takes care of that all for you. All you need to do is, if you opened it, you've added the subtitles, you've chosen your format, just click encode. Choose a name for the output, subs. Hit save. And it's going to work through it, and it's just gonna encode it for you and render it out. It's gonna take a while because that's the thing. Hard subbing, you are actually re-rendering your video, so it might be a little lossy, like I said. And the way to get around that would be changing the format or changing the video encoding option right here. But generally, you don't want to mess with this stuff. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. Just look how many options there are here. There's a lot. So you probably just want to stick with what they give you. So now, just going to wait for this to encode, and we'll take a look and make sure that the video player works. Alright, look at that, it's done. So, our file output size, it tells you right here, and it tells you how long it spent encoding it for. Just to double check that that worked, here we go. This is the file that I made. So you don't need to do this next step. I'm just separating it from everything else. Sometimes some video files can, or some video players, sorry, can detect nearby subtitles and just add them in automatically. But just to make sure that it's not doing that, I'm going to have here, this is the sub file that I just made, open it up, see what happens. There we go. Hard subbed in. I don't have the option to turn off these subtitles. I don't have the option to change anything. It's burned in, but you have it and it's portable. It's it's an MP4 file, plays on a lot, plays on almost everything probably. And yeah, so you're pretty much set there. That's hard subbing for you. Hopefully that works for you guys. All right, and next we will start with soft subbing. Soft subbing, like I was saying, you're going to need a audio video envelope to put these in. The file that's best, the file type that's most commonly used online for this is called an MKV, Matroska video file, or Matroska video. Yeah, that's probably what it stands for. And the MKVs are great for playing on your computer. They work really well. They don't lower the quality at all because you're just sticking the file into an envelope. You're not re-encoding it. The problem is that not everything can play an MKV file. You especially get problems if you try to play it on a different device. And in that case, you sort of have to reconvert the MKV, and you lose all the benefits of having the MKV in the first place. But for this, because this is a Windows tutorial. I'm going to make a Mac video later. Go ahead and click Windows up at the top there, like I just did. And we have Windows here. So there's a bunch of different options here. Go ahead and open up the .exe file that they provide right here. Got a bunch of different options. If you know that your computer is 64-bit Windows, you can go ahead and download that. If you don't know, download 32-bit. Even if you have 64-bit, like my computer right now is a 64-bit Windows, a lot of times you don't actually need the whole 64-bit program. So go ahead, this is pretty much for everybody, download the installer version, 32-bit, as opposed to portable. Portable is nice in its own way. You can, research about portable programs if you want. But installer is gonna, it makes it simple. Adds an installer that we just check off some options and it's gonna be ready. All right, here's the setup wizard. Next, it's default path. Looks good. Yep, that's good. All right, and now it's being installed. This is a toolkit for working with MKV files. That's what this program is, and it's perfectly safe. It has a bunch of different options, and a lot of the options can get kind of tech savvy, but it also tries to include GUIs or graphical user interfaces, and those are the kind of things that tech unsavvy people like us, or maybe like us, I shouldn't assume, are going to find very helpful. If you're not used to working with a command prompt, then that'll be great. So, good. Now, it's going to give you a, if you chose the option like I did to put it on the desktop, it's going to give you a GUI right here. But that's not actually the one we want to use. We want to use a specific program in the, oh wait, here it is, MKV merge GUI. So if you didn't do what I did, if you didn't select the create a shortcut on the desktop, if you go into your computer, open up the C drive, program files, 86 if you chose the 32-bit like I did, go down to MKV tool nix, which is what you just installed, and you got your MKV merge, which is right here, but we want to use the MKV merge GUI, which, if you didn't know, could be confusing. It's this actually mmg.exe right here. So if you didn't choose the create a shortcut, go ahead and double click this, mmg.exe. And here we are, MKV merge GUI. Now, this is what's nice about soft subbing. It's so easy. Okay, so go ahead and add. Go ahead and search for both the video file that you want and the subtitle file. You can add them separately, or you can just sort of hold down control and click both so they're both selected. Open. Yay. Great. So it sort of shows you right here. This is the, sorry, I blocked out my name right here just to be safe. So it's going to show you right here, you have your video file. Right here you have your subtitle file. Those are the two input files. Great. So just say, okay, this is a MPEG, so this is your raw video, you have a raw audio, and you have one subtitle file. If you want to add more, simple, just go to add another subtitle file. Add lots of subtitles like that. Once you're done, this is what you're going to output as. You can change the file name, change the location. It's going to be an MKV file. Start muxing. And it's done. I didn't speed that up at all. It's done. It's that fast. Because all the computer's doing, it took 2 seconds. All it's doing is sticking those two files that you have up here into an envelope. It doesn't re-encode them at all. It doesn't do anything else like that. And then you are done. So if you have a video, I have MPC HC, which is my video player. VLC is really popular. I'd recommend that if you're looking for a program that can play MKVs. It's called VLC. And just Google VLC and you'll find it. So this is it. It's a Matroska file. Open it up. And there it is. And the cool thing is that you can go to Subtitles and turn that off. So that's the benefit of having the soft subs, is that you can go and turn it on and then you can turn it off also. Hopefully that's gonna get you guys through using both MKV Merge GUI for soft subbing and using the Xvid for PSP for hard subbing. One of those options is gonna get you guys through the sometimes confusing process of hard subbing and soft subbing. Let me know if you have any problems. I can try to help. Again, you can run into a bunch of different problems depending on what kind of files you're using. But if you followed both my instructional videos, I think I tried to choose the most painless way for you guys to get a video file out that you can watch, show to your friends, or post online, anything like that. So, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like it or comment. I know every YouTuber says that, but it actually really helps me out. One, in getting the video out for people to see. Two, it makes me feel good because I like helping you guys. So if you have any problems, also leave a comment and I'll try to help you out.